Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Monday, January 12, 2026. Making the headlines tonight, Centaur and Next Gen pull out of buyout negotiations with BTL. In defense of acquisition, Ashcroft says smart deal not tied to cable companies. Independent media owners oppose telecom's monopoly. And Belize City records first murder of 2026. We'll take our first break and return with the news in detail.
Remember, not all light bulbs are created equal. Our lighting department offers a wide assortment of light fixtures and accessories to suit your style. So stop in today and get the right illumination for your homecation. And don't forget your B-Box when you make a purchase. Benny's, quality and savings.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Maras me, my idea that I really need to get my Ara out today.
Really?
Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that work?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Tired of replacing light bulbs? LEDs are what you need. LEDs last up to 30,000 hours. That's 30 times longer than incandescent bulbs, and up to 8 times longer than compact fluorescents. So less changing and less trash. Planet Earth thanks you. And the LED experts at Brothers Habet and Habet will help you find the best LED solution with colors for every room and mood, starting as low as $6.95. You can even get LED strips for home, office, and industrial use. So say goodbye to fluorescent tubes forever. And because they use up to 90% less energy, you save money. Money you can spend on other things. So head to Brothers Habet or Habet and Habet today. You can also call, email, or Facebook us. Have a brilliant day.
I really appreciate this house, I really appreciate the time I take.
1, 2, 3.
I'm feeling very overwhelmed. I'm very grateful, and thanks to the good Lord and the government and all who had participated in letting me be able to have the opportunity of having a home for myself. I'm very happy. This is something that is mine personally. I don't have to be renting, that is extra money in my pocket to do, and if I want to expand or whatever, that I can do that, I'll be able to do it.
As you can see, when they get these houses, it's an absolutely thrilling time, and I'm just absolutely overjoyed, man. These are humble, hardworking, honest people. They've worked all their lives, done a tremendous job with their children, have grown their children up to be considerate, responsible, hardworking citizens. Under really tough conditions, they've been able to make sure that their children get an education and be upstanding citizens. So they have done their part for this country. So we could not give to more deserving persons this opportunity.
I had my own home, but it sank, so the water came in. When it rains, I punish. Thankful for this, because I at least 3 feet, 3 heights.
Anybody who lives in the West Landiver community, they know the Conarchy family. This is a foundation family of this very close-knit community called West Landiver. And today is such a wonderful moment for the entire community because they know how much Lisa deserves this home. And I am just so excited as the area representative to be able to deliver this home today. It's something that we are extremely proud of.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Welcome back with your news. I am Drea Espinosa. On Sunday, January 11, Centaur Communications Corp. Limited and Central TV and Internet Limited, operating the Next Gen brand, both notified the chairman of Belize Telemedia Limited that they were walking away from BTL's buyout proposal. The Prime Minister's brother, Jaime Briceño, signed the letter on behalf of Centaur and stated, quote, "After careful reflection and consultation, we have taken the difficult decision to withdraw from these negotiations," end quote. Briceño first acknowledged that from a commercial and strategic perspective, the transaction, quote, "presented clear financial and operational merits for BTL, as well as meaningful long-term value for all stakeholders involved," end quote. He therefore adds that the updated position reflects their assessment of the broader external and political considerations and the, quote, "disproportionate personal and reputational burdens that continued negotiations would inevitably entail. In light of these factors, we have concluded that it would not be appropriate to proceed at this time," end quote. In the case of Next Gen, Chairman Pedro Lizarraga likewise indicates that they considered a sale based on the fair value proposed by BTL and recognizing the buyout would be beneficial for BTL, its shareholders, and ultimately for Belize's economy. He revealed that the payment would have been done over time. According to Lizarraga, the decision to withdraw from the buyout is due to the recent developments, quote, "including personal and reputational attacks being made in the media unrelated to the merits of the commercial terms," end quote. In related news, Michael Ashcroft on Sunday issued a statement on the acquisition revealing that the agreed purchase price for SpeedNet Smart is 80 million Belize dollars, with 10 million payable in cash and the remainder in loan notes with a 4-year term and an interest rate of 4.5%. He also clarifies that the sale of SpeedNet is not conditional on the purchase of the cable companies. According to Ashcroft, the trust is set up exclusively for charitable purposes in benefit of Belizeans, and he personally has no economic interest in the trust. No other details were provided on the trust, but he did provide a breakdown of the shareholding of SpeedNet. The trust owns 77.5%, while Jaime Briceño owns 16.73%, and Renan Briceño owns 5.77%. In the remainder of his statement, Ashcroft advocates for the sale, saying it would be a good deal for BTL. The owners of 3 independent media houses, XTV, Channel 7, and Plus TV, today held a press conference to express their opposition against a telecoms monopoly. Jules Vasquez affirmed that, in their view, despite 2 cable companies pulling out of buyout negotiations with Belize Telemedia Limited, the matter is still alive. Evan Mose Hyde said that based on precedent, when XTV has been victimized by BTL under a previous administration, they remain with the trauma and are now speaking out for their very survival.
Our issue is with the telecoms monopoly. That has been the issue me and Luis have been talking about.
It can still happen.
Oh, that matter is live. Once you say the Ashcroft Alliance behind it and the Briceños behind it, those are undeniable names in this song. Those are undeniable names in this song. No, all regulator must bow.
I have a problem with the buyer. The buyer has in the past been a monopoly, has demonstrated itself as being a poor steward of the open marketplace of ideas throughout its history, whether it was government owned or there was the golden share or it moved into private ownership and then moved back into where now it's a government owned private entity and the government is the people. So it's still, in my opinion, a public thing. So, in my opinion, that over the decades, and I still did that Johnny come lately compared to the two other media houses here, BTL has not been a good steward of the open marketplace of ideas.
I'm really can't for do any crying, but the trauma is real, right? And once you prove to me that you're incapable of act in a way where professional and just, you can't get me to buy into anything with you again. And so when the BTL had complete control, this would be sometime around 2007, and it was at that time controlled by the Ashcroft Alliance, who are now selling out, wanting to sell out, but they had control of BTL. I spoke on the matter of the union leader at the time being fired. And as a result, we were not just punished by ads being taken away. At the time, the ability to get online came completely through the portal believeweb.com. And we were taken out. Taken down and could no longer be accessed. That set us back significantly. We paid a price, but you take your lick. You understand that you spoke on principle, you deal with it, but you can't forget.
Meanwhile, Cabinet Minister Karim Musa has taken an opposing view to the Prime Minister's in relation to BTL's proposed acquisition of Smart. The Prime Minister has maintained he does not have information on a deal given that BTL is a private company. However, Musa believes there should be public disclosure because it is majority government owned.
Have you as a cabinet member been briefed on the proposed BTL acquisition of Sweetnet?
Not at the cabinet level. I haven't been briefed on it, but I have been paying attention to it. Obviously, it's something that has been intensely scrutinized, so to speak, not just by the media, but also by civil society. And I was able to see some of the remarks made at the press conference last week. So in terms of the nuts and bolts, we have not been briefed on that, but it is expected that at tomorrow's cabinet, this will be a matter for discussion.
And do you believe that the cabinet should have been briefed first, being that this is a publicly owned utility?
I've heard the remarks of the chairman of BTL saying that it's a private company, but as you rightly pointed out, it is a government-owned private company. And so I believe that we should be very upfront in terms of the information, not just the cabinet, but to the wider public in terms of disclosure, in terms of all of the nuts and bolts. This is a very significant merger, a significant acquisition, I believe a total of 170 million. And so there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. And so I think that publicly presenting that to get the buy-in from the public is vital.
Do you believe that there is a perceived conflict of interest, though, with the ownership of the companies and BTL?
I wouldn't say so, and I wouldn't want to speculate on that. I have seen the Prime Minister on numerous occasions actually say that he's not an owner of the company. His family owns the company, I believe, Centaur, and has shares in SpeedNet. And so the Prime Minister has actually recused himself in terms of discussing this matter. And so, but that is not to say that his family does have an interest in it. I believe his brother Jaime and his cousin have an interest in the companies.
And would you support such an acquisition?
I can't say at this point. Like other members of the board, I have questions. I am not at all familiar with the details of the acquisition, aside from the global sum of what it's going to cost for the cable companies and for SpeedNet. And so there are a lot of questions, especially in the advent of technology and innovation and international competition, that I believe our forecasting has to consider. And I'm speaking specifically about Starlink at this point, but it might be something in addition to Starlink in the coming years. And so all of these are factors that we need to consider when making a decision.
At Friday's press conference, the chairman of Police Telemedia Limited, Mark Helm Lizarraga, defended their inability to disclose financial data in the intended acquisition of Smart and 3 cable broadband companies. He stated that NDAs or non-disclosure agreements have been signed, given that the government's majority stake in BTL represents some $450 million. We defended the public's need for disclosure while making the point that there is no threat of any outside company outbidding BTL.
No business that I know of, none, no private company that I know of would enter into negotiations with another private company and have the discourse in the public.
Because you have $450 million of the government's money, the people's money invested in this company, and you're choosing to move it to a monopoly, and the people are concerned about this. There are no safeguards. Stakeholders, the public sector is calling for there to be legislation in relation to this. Legislation has been put in place before when these types of transactions are being done. For example, the National Gas Company, or whatever it was, NGC. So why is it that it cannot be done when that amount of money, public funds are involved?
Let me reiterate. We sit here and we make decisions in the best interest of the company. We don't make national policy. We don't make national policy. We make policy from here, we make decisions that are in the best interest of this company and its shareholders. I just explained all the reasons for the consumers, how they're going to benefit, for the shareholders, how they're going to benefit, for the workers of this company, the stability that it brings and the growth potential that it brings for them, and for the company itself. Because we have a responsibility to hold a high standard of service delivery. You're not looking at that. I understand what you're looking at, the noise in the market. We are focused on the performance of this company because we have a fiduciary responsibility for the performance of this company. At some stage, policies will have to be looked at. We are going to make recommendations. That's what we're going to do. We're looking at a potential opportunity that we believe is in the best interest of everyone.
But your biggest stakeholder is the government, and in today's press conference, you are saying that your biggest shareholder does not need to be notified.
My biggest shareholder,
just the directors who are going to make this decision.
My biggest shareholder, as all shareholders, represent people on this board. When you send people to the board, those board members, their first responsibility is that the company. It's very clear. When you sit here around this table, your first responsibility is to this company.
As we previously reported, several members of the board considered that they themselves had not been provided with sufficient data to make an informed vote on the acquisition. Meanwhile, Lizarraga has indicated that the company is interested in buying out SpeedNet Smart merely for its cash flows and customer base and not for the infrastructure, which observers say is outdated. Lizarraga was therefore asked why not outcompete them and bleed them to death, after which the customers will have to go to BTL anyway.
If you kill them through natural attrition, then the customers have to come to you anyway. I'm just saying that it seems that it is a package, and the chamber alluded to this, sir, that it's a package for private, that serves private interests and not clearly the public interests. It seems like private enrichment.
That's the seed that you have planted quite well, and I'm hoping that at the end of the day, you will see that what we're doing is in the best interest of the company, and that the savings, the efficiencies that will come to the market, rather than continuing the race to the bottom, which is of no good to nobody, especially when we have a responsibility of maintaining our network to a certain standard. You don't want to go back to the stage where we have to be starving the company of capital, having the assets depreciate because we can't maintain them properly, which is where we were. So we prefer to take the approach. Make we go to fight, but kill them, buy them out. That takes them out completely.
After the break, we speak to a former PUC chairman about the proposed smart buyout. Stay with us.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures, customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter, smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights, distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature, accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness, and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
Sir, your item is ready for viewing.
Is that all?
This is everything.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying help you out right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
Today we spoke with John Avery, a former chairman of the Public Utilities Commission, who took us back to 1987 when the government established a policy of competition in the telecommunications market. Avery explained that though there is nothing in the Telecommunications Act that speaks to the buying out of another communications company, the spirit of the Act speaks to a licensee not acting in such a way as to be anti-competition.
It has been since 1987 that the government announced the public policy would be competition in the telecommunications market. They gave BTL a 15-year license, but stipulated that a new act was to come in place that would then open up the market. That was done. At that time, the government even tried to finance a competitor in telco.
Right.
Because all of that leads us up to where we are today. Spent millions of dollars for a company that they didn't allow to get off the ground. And then we went into all of that was for the purpose of pursuing competition. That led to this thing with the change of ownership with BTL and PROSA and all that we spent with legal fees and everything else, getting back BTL. And then we end up with the accommodation agreements that to some extent try to stipulate who the competition would be, being SpeedNet.
Right.
And then we even end up paying $300 million roughly for those accommodation agreements when the government finally acquired BTL. Only at the time to find out that the major shareholder in BTL was also the majority controller of SpeedNet, which meant he was competing with himself. But the point I'm making is that we had a whole convolution of events that occurred all in the pursuit of competition, and this has been on the table since 1987, so that's 38 years. The official government policy, which is the Telecommunications Act, which have some serious penalties for anti-competitive behavior. All of this in cement basically is saying the government policy in telecommunications is to promote competition. So in my opinion, when the government says it has nothing to do with it, I find that as if you're abdicating a responsibility. And now with this move, we would be end up right back where we were in 1987 with a monopoly.
According to Avery, by even considering the buyout of Smart, BTL is already in violation of the spirit of the Act.
Law doesn't explicitly say this law is all about competition. But then, if you look at the Electricity Act, the PUC Act, the Water Industry Act, the most serious penalties for any violations in all those acts are violations by licensees that would tend to eliminate or obstruct competition. Some of the penalties are years in prison and up to $500,000 fine. The other acts prescribe 3 months and $50,000 fines and that sort of thing. But this act prescribes some very serious penalties for trying to distort competition. A section of the act that deals with licensees and their violations and that sort of thing. Paragraph 4 says, a licensee shall not enter into or give effect to any agreement, arrangement, or understanding which has the purpose or has or is likely to have the effect of significantly lessening competition in any market for the supply of telecommunication services or of any product used in connection with telecommunication services. Now, BTL, they have a similar license to SPNet. They don't need SPNet license. The chairman of BTL says that one of the problems with competition is a redundancy of assets. So they don't need redundant assets on SPNet. So what is the purpose for the acquisition? Simply to eliminate the competition. That what else is there? All right? And so to me, BTL, by even considering this purchase and considering these agreements, to me, in my opinion, that's a violation of this section of the law.
Officials expected that the northern sugar crop season would begin mid-January, but the new tentative date is now Monday, January 19. Salvador Martin, the chairman of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association's Committee of Management, explained that the sugar roads remain in disrepair and the additional days will provide more time for the contractors conducting the work to complete the main roads at the lease. Additionally, BSI is currently conducting its steam trials in preparation for the start of the crop, and after it concludes those today, it will use the additional time to ensure everything is functioning as it should. The 2024 to 2025 northern sugar crop ended with multi-million-dollar losses due to significant challenges resulting from a combination of factors. Those included effects of climate change and diseases and infestations. As a result, the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, which expected the renegotiation of its commercial agreement with Belize Sugar Industries, had to accept a one-year rollover of the existing agreement. Here is BSCFA Committee of Management Vice Chairman Alfredo Ortega.
In reality, it came about because we are seeing the situation with our farmers, and as you know, last crop was not a good crop because of the fusarium, the millibug, and the other insects that were damaging the cane. So when we managed to see the problem that we had last crop, the damage was already done. This year, we're seeing that the canes are a little bit much better. So our farmers are really looking forward to deliver that cane because they and we wouldn't want that any infestation can come about and then they will be losing what they have at point, because if you see the history, if farmers are unable to deliver their cane, then they are unable to make back their money they invested. So based on that, the committee, the board, took this to the farmers in the general meeting and the meetings we had on the different branches. And the farmers approved that we go forward and sign this agreement with BSI, on which we were proposing 3 and they came out proposing 1. And I want to clarify that because I have heard in the news that they are saying that BSCFA was proposing 7. We have never proposed 7 in any signature of our agreement. We have always seen most 3, but this time BSI came out with 1, and then, well, the farmers agreed that we do so, and that is what transpired.
Ortega is hopeful that production this year will be better as a result of all the work and resources that have gone into addressing the diseases and infestations.
First of all, we would like to thank the government because, as you know, that through the Ministry of Agriculture, there was a first 500,000 installment that was granted for the control of the fusarium when it was brought out by the experts and by CIRDE and the board that there was an infestation. Then the government came out with another 2.5 million to assist the farmers, on which not only farmers of the BSCFA, but all farmers at large were assisted with that. And I think that there is still material for whenever the harvest starts, on which the plan is to intervene as soon as the harvest goes on. So we are thankful and we're grateful to the government that they gave that assistance, because it assisted our farmers at least in controlling the problems that we are facing in regards to. Many of it was being said that it was the fusarium, but what we saw and what we have seen is that the mealybug and the froghopper were the ones that were most damaging the cane fields. And with the intervention that was done, well, it really, we can see now how the cane have transformed from yellowish that it was before to more a green leaf that it is at this point. So the cane is growing, and we believe that we'll be having a better quality than last crop. We believe that we'll be having some more cane than last crop. So the intervention and the assistance that the government did, we are very grateful. The BSCFA is very thankful for that assistance that was done for the farmers at large.
In police news, Belize City on Saturday recorded its first murder for 2026. The victim is 28-year-old Kyron Dwayne Armstrong of Farbers Road Extension. His body with multiple gunshot wounds was found inside the security booth at the Constitution Park just before 1 p.m. ASP Stacy Smith says he was known to police.
On Saturday, 10th January 2025 at approximately 1 o'clock p.m., Precinct 1 police responded to reports of shots fired in the vicinity of Constitution Park, which is located on Cemetery Road, Belize City. Upon the arrival of the officers, they observed a male person in a booth on that compound, and the male person exhibited several apparent gunshot wounds to the body. He was transported to the Karahushna Memorial Hospital for medical attention. However, he later succumbed to the injuries that he sustained. The male person was identified as Kyron Dwayne Armstrong, a 28-year-old Belizean of Farbers Road Extension. What the investigation has so far suggested is that Mr. Armstrong was inside the booth, and a male person who wore a helmet entered that booth and fired several shots, which resulted in his demise. The male person then made his escape on board a motorcycle. Police have retrieved a number of video footages which shows the activity of those suspected persons prior to and after the incident, and they are being carefully reviewed. Yes, Mr. Armstrong is known to police. Most recently, we made contact with Mr. Armstrong, given that he is believed to have been the intended target in a shooting that occurred in December of 2025.
After the break, one charged in connection with murder of Mark Gabriel. Stay tuned.
Man, that's me. My data done, and I really need to get my ADA out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that work?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria, con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente. Ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Remember, not all light bulbs are created equal. Our lighting department offers a wide assortment of light fixtures and accessories to suit your style. So stop in today and get the right illumination for your homecation. And don't forget your B-Box when you make a purchase. Benny's, quality and savings.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature, accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness, and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
Excited, good. I love my home. I was living with my sister, and I'm so happy that I have my own one, that I could say it is my house. It's good to have a house that I can say it's mine.
Sandy is a single mother who has been all her life living amongst her family. And so when we looked at the names of the individual, we thought we were able to help. Sandy is one of them. I know that really needed this assistance. I'm very proud of Sandy, and we're very happy to be able to share in this very exciting moment with her, as she now owns a home that she can call home. And just like Sandy, we just issued one to Miss Cantun in Orange Walk, another single mother with I think 2 or 3 children. You're not just giving them something, but you're making them, giving them a future, one that they can also have with their children. And so putting a roof over somebody's head is making life better for that individual.
Police have arrested and charged 25-year-old Wilhelm Koyi of Camalote Cayo with murder in connection with the death of 55-year-old Mark Anthony Gabriel. ASP Stacy Smith told the media that a second individual is in police custody.
As a consequence of the investigation into the murder of Mark Anthony Gabriel that occurred on Wednesday, 7th January 2026, on Friday, 9th January 2026, police formally arrested and charged 25-year-old William Koyi, a Belizean laborer of Camalote Village, Cayo District, for the crime of murder. A second person is in police's custody in relation to this incident, and the public will be advised as to the status of the investigation in relation to that person.
A fatal road traffic accident on mile 1.5 on the Philip Golson Highway in Belize City on Sunday night claimed the life of police officer 28-year-old Edward Eddie Kus. According to the initial investigations, Kus was traveling on his motorcycle towards Belize City when he lost control and collided into a metal utility pole on the highway's median. ASP Stacy Smith told the media that Kus had been a police officer for over 4 years.
Police are investigating a traffic accident which resulted in the death of 28-year-old Edward Kus, a Belizean police constable of Belize City. The investigation commenced on Sunday, 11th January 2026 at approximately 8:40 p.m. when officers of the Precinct 4 jurisdiction were advised that an accident occurred near mile 1.5 on the Philip Golson Highway. The officers proceeded to that location where they observed the unresponsive body of a male person who was later identified as Kus, and also on the scene was a Lifan brand motorcycle which was damaged. What the investigation has so far suggested is that Kus was traveling on his motorcycle to Belize City when he lost control and collided into a metal lamppost that is located on the median in the highway. PC Kus has been a serving member of the Belize Police Department for just over 4 years, and the loss of Mr. Kus is certainly mourned by the ministry as well as the department. Though he has only amassed 4 years of service, by all indications, he was a very dedicated and committed police officer.
A woman was injured in a road traffic accident along the George Price Highway on Friday night In what was a scary scene, 34-year-old Monique Williams was driving an SUV and was attempting to cross the Beaver Dam Bridge when she collided into a freight liner truck that was transporting a plow that had a portion jutting out from the truck. Williams was removed from the wreckage and was taken for medical treatment. ASP Stacy Smith said that the driver, Raymond Martinez, has been served with a notice of intended prosecution.
Friday night, January 2026, at approximately 8:26 p.m., Roaring Creek Police visited the Beaver Dam Bridge on the George Price Highway after being alerted of a traffic accident at that location. The responding officers observed a silver in color four-door Nissan Rogue SUV on the right side of the bridge, which was damaged, and they also observed a industrial-sized plow disc lodged in the roof of that vehicle. Observed trapped in the vehicle was 34-year-old Monique Williams, who showed injury to the head and the body. Williams was extracted from the vehicle and transported for medical attention and is now listed in a stable condition. What we have learned so far in the course of this investigation is that around 8:15 p.m., Raymond Martinez was driving a Freightliner truck which had a plow that was extended the entire length of the bridge, and Miss Williams was traveling in the opposite direction. Miss Williams became lodged under the plow, and the injuries and damage to the vehicle as reported is what occurred. Police have since issued a notice of intended prosecution to Raymond Martinez in connection to this incident.
And President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, is scheduled to make a state visit to Belize from February 1 to 3, 2026. As part of the official visit, President Ali will address a joint sitting of Parliament on January 30, an event that will coincide with the inauguration of the newly renovated National Assembly building in Belmopan. President Ali, who serves as the lead head of government in CARICOM with responsibility for agriculture, is also expected to engage with Belize's productive sector. These engagements aim to strengthen regional cooperation, investment, and trade, particularly within the agricultural sector. Officials anticipate that several cooperation agreements will be signed during the visit. In addition, President Ali will hold bilateral meetings with Her Excellency Dame Froila Salam, Governor General of Belize, and Prime Minister Honorable John Briceño. And Belmopan City Councilor Sani Kyle last week launched a fundraising appeal to assist in bringing perpetrators of major crimes to justice. The funds raised would go towards rewards for persons who provide information that can help the police department make arrests. The appeal was started following the murder of January 7th of Caribbean chicken driver Mark Anthony Gabriel, which shook Belmopan. Cal shared that his post went viral and donations started coming in.
Two head better than one. Together we can make something different. Together we can make a change. I believe with the community on board, business sectors, everybody have a part to do, making the city better. I believe that we can all get together, and as I mentioned in my post, it was the reward. I believe that someone needs to talk. Someone has to talk. Someone needs to get up and say something about it. I know somebody knows something, and together we can make that happen. Together we can make someone talk. I believe in my police department. I know Belmopan has a surveillance camera all around the city in different posts, and I spoke to the commissioner today, and he mentioned to me that they're active. And thank God, good news is that arrest will be pronto, and I hope that happens. But even if it doesn't happen right now, the community can get together and get something done together, though. We need to make it together. Do it together. Together, everything is possible. I have received several calls, and not only for this, what occurred this week, but for different situations. As an elected official, I think I know that every elected official receives calls every day in regards to not only crime but concerns that happen around the city. But for this one, I have received several calls, and with the post that I did, I honestly didn't expect it went so viral. But I have received several calls, even asking me where to deposit the money because they want to make something, they want to make a difference. And I'm not talking about one call, I'm talking about several calls this morning. And I'm happy for that. I see the energy from my community willing to be a part of this change, and I know we can do it.
As we shared in a previous story, charges have been brought in connection with Anthony's murder. And with that, we've come to the end of our newscast. The repeats can be viewed on the station later tonight at 9 and again tomorrow at midday. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of the news. And remember, you can always catch up with the day's top stories on our YouTube channel and Facebook page under XTV Belize. And you can watch the evening news live on our XTV BHNI app. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.